Hey IndyCar family, I'm IndyCar Dad, your host for the IndyCar news in 5 minutes. I read and watch everything IndyCar and summarize it for you in 5 minutes. This is our mid-season check-in. We're halfway done with the IndyCar season, so let's see how everyone's doing. The big news is it's been a great season so far. The series is very competitive, and despite Alex Palou leading the series and winning 4 races already, the battle for the championships is still really alive, and most importantly, every race the battle for the race win is still alive. So here's my fast recap of each of the races so far. In St. Pete, Palou beat them all. It was really frightened us to think, oh, we might be in for another boring season, but he did dominate. Then in Phoenix, Palou got knocked out right away, and Joseph Newgarden won a race that seemed like Rasmussen or Will Power could have won as well. So it was nice to see some competition in the short ovals. On the streets of Arlington, a wonderful thing happened, which is Kyle Kirkwood won the race on pace. Despite some setbacks in the pits, Kirkwood still beat Palou, meaning we have a driver now that can outpace Alex Palou in the number 10 team. So that was fantastic. But back at Barber, and Palou again beat them all. So in Long Beach, Felix Rosenqvist looked like he had the pace to beat Palou. Beat him in qualifying, beat him in the race, but Palou's pit crew won the race for him. And at the Indy Road Course, Christian Lundgaard had the pace to beat. So we had another driver in the mix. So the series is getting very excited. At the Indy 500, Felix Rosenqvist won what I think is the best Indy 500 I've ever seen, and I'm old. But in Detroit, back to Palou. He won the race from pole. But that was an interesting race too, because there were times when Palou was not fastest. Will Power looked like he could have won the race. Scott McLaughlin looked like he could have won the race. And Kyle Kirkwood didn't have the right strategy, but he also had pace as well. And in St. Louis, it was Joseph Newgarden again. 2 wins this year, and you cannot beat Newgarden's record at St. Louis. The guy is a whiz there. If anybody has been dominant at a track, I think you have to point to Newgarden and at Gateway International, because he just spanks them. So there we go. We can run through the standings. I'll be happy to do it with you. Palou's in the lead. Kirkwood's 49 points back, which is like 1 race win if Palou didn't score hardly anything. Malukas is 68 points back from the leader, and Lundgaard is 96 points back. After that, I don't think you really are in championship contention at the moment. So we've got 4 guys, Palou, Kirkwood, Malukas, and Lundgaard, that are in contention for the championship. Pato's in 5th in points. Newgarden's in 6th. Scotty Mack, Felix Rosenqvist 8. Marcus Ericsson's doing well for himself in 9th. And Marcus Armstrong is showing well in 10th. Graham Rahal's in 11th. Scott Dixon 12th. Rinus VeeKay 13th. A lot of these guys I'm going to go on really seem like they belong here. Like VeeKay in 13th, Rossi at 14th, Simpson 15th, Ferrucci 16th. Those guys have been in those positions before. But Will Power's down in 17th, which is unusual for him. So the switch over to Andretti's had a little bit of teething pains. Dennis Hauger's the top rookie in 18th. Louis Foster, Grosjean, Siegel, Rasmussen, Kyle Coet, Stingray, Robb, those guys all seem like where they belong. Rasmussen doing a little poorer than you would think. But and then Mick Schumacher is the last place full-time runner in 25th. Everyone else after that is a part-timer. So here's my analysis of those standings. Scott Dixon is currently in 12th, but he finished the last year's standings in 3rd. So we've got not a great performance for Mr. Dixon. A similar slip there for Will Power and Christian Rasmussen. They just had plenty of DNFs. In Will Power's case, I think there's some team issues going on there, and sometimes some overly aggressive driving. In Rasmussen's situation, honestly, I just think he keeps crashing the car. So on the upswing, we have Kyle Kirkwood moved up. David Malukas has moved up more than anyone. Newgarden, it sounds weird to say that Newgarden's had a huge improvement, but last year he only finished 12th in points, so for him to be 6th is a big deal. Graham Rahal's also having a great season for himself, and Marcus Ericsson, too, really seems to be finding his pace at Andretti. So, top rookie is Hauger in 18th. Despite the fact that his team couldn't get the car to run and he couldn't run at all in St. Louis, he is leading the rookie points. Kyle Coet has looked really good, but he's had some failures and crashes, some heartbreak. And Schumacher has been professional out there, I guess, but he does not look fast, and it's really disappointing. I was hoping that Mick would do well, but not so great. Every week we do winners and losers, so let's talk about some winners. Alex Palou, of course, is a winner, and so is Kyle Kirkwood. Felix Rosenquist won the 500, so you got to be a winner for that. David Malukas hasn't won a race, but he's a winner in the standings because he's doing so well. He's the top Penske guy. Christian Lundgaard won a race, and he's a winner because he's the only one at McLaren that won a race. And I think everybody expected him to be the second best driver at McLaren. So, and then Joseph Newgarden's won 2 races, and he's looked good doing it. So, losers, I think Rasmussen. I hate to keep beating up on the guy, but I can't believe he got a contract renewal because he's not been good. Anyway, Will Power has had a rough go. Scott Dixon, I don't want to call him a loser, but he's fallen in the points, so maybe we'll see some action from him. And then Mick Schumacher, he is a loser. He's in last place, so he's got to be called a loser. So next week, the series is at Road America, which is one of my favorite racetracks. It's a great one to watch on TV, but it's a really great one to attend. If you do attend, it's a great place to watch. It's a great place to see the teams. It's a great place to see the pits. It's a great place to eat because I've never had racetrack food as good as I've had at Road America. I personally won't be there. I've attended a lot of races already this year, and I'll be celebrating Father's Day in Florida with my family. But you know darn well I'll be watching every session and, of course, the race from the couch. So I will probably do a race preview where I do an analysis of past years and tell you which drivers to watch. I really think last race I was spot on with which drivers will have an interesting race, and I think I can give you that as well. So look for the IndyCar Dad podcast. You'll find it on YouTube, all the podcast networks, and then you can find me as IndyCar Dad on TikTok and Instagram. So thanks for following. I hope to see you at the races.